Hi, it's Paul. Let's look at lactational change in breast FNA. So we see this in pregnant patients and in breastfeeding patients. And this reflects a hyperplasia of the terminal lobules of the breast epithelium. Classic pattern here, especially on the Giemsa stain slides. Notice all these clear spaces in the background here. This is all lipid. So this is what we would call a lipid-rich background. And then classically in the background, we see both bare nuclei and ones with cytoplasm that are fairly large and round. And it's hard to see on a Giemsa, but on the PAP, we'll be able to see they have prominent nucleoli. And so these are quite fragile cells. That one there has got cytoplasm. They often lose their cytoplasm, and then that releases all this lipid. And so we end up with this very lipid-rich background. Here's some cohesive epithelial cells, hyperplastic cells. Notice they're larger. They've got more abundant cytoplasm than you see in normal ductal cells, and some of it's vacuolated and fairly large but quite uniform nuclei. This is a pap stain. You can see it's kind of messy. Again, the background full of proteinaceous material, so that gets precipitated out by the alcohol, and it looks like sort of granular material, a bit like cyst. And then these are the epithelial cells. You can see they're vacuolated. They have large nuclei, prominent nucleoli, very smooth nuclear membrane, and fairly uniform in size. And then throughout the background, you can see they're really quite dispersed, just as stripped nuclei, some cells with cytoplasm, but generally speaking, just single cells. Here's like a little lobular unit that's been sucked out, and you can see same features in it. So they are epithelial, they're cohesive, they have prominent nucleoli, and so this is like that hyperplastic terminal lobular unit that's been removed. So in summary, lactational change tends to be quite cellular. The worrying thing cytologically is that often it is composed of lots of dispersed epithelial cells. Remember, cohesion is usually a key benign feature. But these cells have quite vacuolated cytoplasm, and although they have enlarged nuclei, they tend to be quite uniform in size and shape, and that being nice and round, and they nearly always have a single central largish nucleolus. Background material is quite helpful. It's usually lipid-rich, which looks like clear bubbles on the Giemsa, but sort of proteinaceous material often on the PAPs. And obviously clinical history is quite crucial in identifying that. So this again can be a cause of false positive diagnoses because of that dispersion and the enlarged nuclei, but it is a well-known trap, and so it's important to correlate clinically. Having said that, there are occasional cases that are seen that are malignancies in pregnancy, and so you've got to be careful not to underestimate that as well.